Meeting Mr. Faulkner. Jude and Kitty's mother has invited her new friend Grelda to meet her daughters. He stepped inside. He was Mom's height, a little tubby, and he had silvery hair. His suit was nowhere near as smart as any of Simon's. There again, he wasn't a posh blanker. Though he did have the most enormous box of chocolates tucked under his one arm. He shifted the chocolates and shook hands. "Jude," he said, "right?" She nodded. I slid out of the shadow and Kitty. He smiled and kept his hand stuck out for a moment, but I pretended that I hadn't noticed it. And after one of those infinitesimal little pauses of his handed the huge box of chocolates to Jude. They were those rich, dark, expensive chocolate-coated cream mints. I've had a passion for them all my life. The box was 3 layers deep at the very least. I saw Jude's eyes widen to suckers. "Are these for Mom?" she asked. "No, they're for you." He could have meant either of you or you. It wasn't clear as he spoke. He was looking at Jude, but he didn't glance at me. Briefly, it was a terribly clever. It meant that when I didn't pile straight in with Jude, thanking him lavishly, he wasn't in the slightest embarrassed. He didn't have to be, you see. He might not have meant to include me at all. I'll tell Mom. Jude rushed upstairs, clutching her booty to her chest, and Grelda, Faulkner, and I were left alone in the hall. I thought I'd discomfort him with my silence, but no, not at all. He simply swiveled away as though he wanted to inspect the pictures on the wall and read closely at the photo of me as a toddler. "What a face," he said admiringly. "Really cunning, right?" I wasn't quite sure what he meant by that. "It looks as if it might be you. Really cunning, right? He doesn't actually ask if it's me, and then he can't look silly if I don't answer." Just then, Floss padded in through the front door and started rubbing up against his trousers. Then Floss padded in through the front door and started rubbing up against his trousers legs as if she'd known and loved him all her life. He stopped to pet. Be bound to try and get me to speak. He stopped to pet her. "Puss, puss, puss." I thought now he'd be bound to try and get me to speak. It's hard to fondle someone else. Cat in front of Mr. Faulkner
of them.
be bound to try and get me to speak. It's hard to fondle someone else's cat in front of them and not ask its name, but Grelder Fauntleroy, made of sterner stuff that up you come, Buster, he said, scooping Floss up in his hands. Who's a nice kitty? I wasn't quite sure what he meant by that either. I was still trying to work it out, and Floss was still purring shamelessly. Mom said when Jude came thundering downstairs, Mom said to help yourself to a drink, and she'll be down in a minute. Righto! He tipped the enraptured Floss to Jude's arms and ambled past me with a nod. I wonder if he had been in our house before. How else would he know which door led into the kitchen? Bye!